It's time for another collaborative podcast that no one asked for. From the creators of Cases of Continuity, No New Friends, and Big Beautiful Dis, get ready for Creators United. And now, give it up for your hosts, Ryan, Dane, and Scott.
All right, welcome back to Creators United. I'm Dane. In case you don't know, it's been a while. You may have forgotten from Big Beautiful Diz. Hi. Joining me is Scott from the No New Friends podcast. Scott, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Very nice. And RJ Mags from Into the Disneyverse. How are you doing tonight, my guy?
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it's going to be
If you want to hear
one.
more about Tomorrow Never Dies and other James Bond movies, check out Cases of Continuity now.
I always try.
Season one.
I'm always forgetting about Cases of Continuity now.
When's that coming back?
It doesn't really exist.
When is it coming back? That's the question.
God, I've been so busy. Into the Disneyverse has kept me insanely busy.
When Hell Freezes
over, a lot
over,
of stuff with work has kept me very busy. Maybe when I graduate from grad school in 3 years.
Okay, that's fair.
That sounds like a reasonable timeline to me.
You know, my recommendation, take it for what it's worth, is if you find yourself with some spare time, record an episode, don't publish it. Then you find yourself some more spare time, record another episode, don't publish it. And then by that, then there's no pressure to, okay, I've got to do one every single week, because now you've got a backlog of your season, and then you put it out when the season's complete.
See, the trouble for me is I require spare time and enough energy in that spare time to record. And if I do have spare time and energy, I'm going to record a Travels and Tribulations.
I get it.
I've had a script written for the past month that I just haven't had the time and energy to record.
I get it, man. It's hard. You know, we were going to talk about this a little bit last time, and we just naturally got here this time and not last time. I've been so like blah. And call it depression, call it midlife crisis, call it whatever. I don't know. But I've had, I used to go live on TikTok every single night or almost every single night doing the battles or just talking to the, whatever. And I can't. I just can't do it. I don't have the energy to do it. I don't have the desire to do it. And the spare time that I have, and I do have spare time, but the spare time that I have, I'm just want to lay on my couch and watch TV or, sit out on my patio and not do anything. And it sucks. It really sucks. So it's like, I never really understood that. And even, recording with you guys, there's been times when I could have, but it's just, I don't have it. I don't have it in me to do the extra stuff and to be on the top of my game. And it sucks because I have such a passion for it. And, I remember a time when I was like, let me figure out all these extra projects that I can do. And I got so excited about doing this with you guys because it's a threesome that had never really existed before.
I miss those
kind
days.
Of show, guys. But it's the three of us.
You're the only one that said something.
I know that the three of us don't. We don't necessarily interact naturally in everyday setting together. Mags and I may, or Dane and I may, or Dane and Mags, but the three of us, so I was really excited about doing this. And then I just hit this point where it's just like, man, I have just no energy or desire to do anything.
Well, I mean, why do you think all of our past collaborative shows have ended? It's because you just don't have time, You don't have the time, or it just gets stale after a while. That's what we're trying to keep this like sporadic, but at the same time consistent, because we don't want it to get stale and we don't want it to fall into a Diz Journey trap or something.
Right. Well, yeah. I get it. It just it sucks. So like to Ryan's point, like when you have the spare time, you can have all the spare time in the world, but you have to have the energy too. And energy is not just I got enough sleep last night, I didn't have to work a full day. It's also that mental energy, which I always took for granted until I've hit this little spell in my life, where I don't have the mental energy to do anything. I could get a full 8 hours, but I just don't have it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It sucks.
Yeah. That's never really happened to me where I
You're
just
young, it'll happen.
don't. Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't feel like going out places very often, like
Yeah.
when I've worked a ton or something like that. But just sitting down here and recording, I have no problem with as of now. But something that I talk about growing like stale, I guess, or whatever. Something that I try to do is I try to take almost a month break every once in a while. If you noticed, I try to do that after a big video because it's like I put so much effort into this.
But
It's why I'm taking the summer off, honestly, because I
you
have
have with what you put into your big projects, you have to.
yeah. And it's like that's why I take the summer off because there's more than just the release of on YouTube for Big Beautiful This. There's things that are going to happen. I can't say what yet because it's taken forever to confirm. But there's
Ichabod
things
and
that are
Mr. Toad movie deep
yeah,
dive.
yep. That and something for Beyond the Glass, that are taking forever to come together. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to take the summer off and I'm going to wait until that thing happens. It's not going to be happening until like October, November. So I'm like, I have to come back before my Disney trip. And how do I do that? I don't know. Um, so probably the Mr. Toad video is going to be out in some time after the trip in September. And the trip videos are going to be what I come back to. But I'm
Where are you going
already
in September?
going, huh?
Where are you going in
Oh, I thought you
September?
said when. Disneyland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm
Have
also
you ever been
touring
out
there.
there?
No, no, no. I'm going to Disneyland and then touring around California, like touring around Los Angeles.
Disneyland's really cool. I had so much fun. Are you staying in the DVC Tower, the new one at
No,
a
I'm staying at the Californian, I think.
okay.
Either Californian or the non-DVC Disneyland hotel because the tower is impossible to get into
Oh, is
because it's
it?
one of two DVC things, so everyone stays there.
And it's brand new.
Yeah, yeah, that too. So yeah, I'm already getting like I want to make a video. So I've been
Mhm.
making stuff for Patreon sometimes. I'm actually redoing all my old videos for Patreon. Like all the
Hmm.
hidden secrets, I'm redoing all of those
Oh, that's
for
cool.
Patreon. So I'm already getting like, okay, I want to come back, but I'm like, I also don't want to because I want to
Yeah.
give Beyond the Glass time to breathe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Dane, a really surreal feeling. Now you never rode Mr. Toad's Wild Ride here, correct?
No.
Okay. So a surreal feeling for me was the very first ride we did at Disneyland was Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Mm.
And I have not ridden that ride since I was a kid. And I definitely have memories of it, but I don't remember all of it.
Yeah.
And in my mind, that ride no longer exists because it doesn't exist here anymore. So to be able to ride that, it was like stepping out of a time machine for me. It was one
Yeah.
of the cool that and Snow White. It was a
I know
really
I
cool feeling.
I know that walking down Main Street for me is going to trip me out, like seeing the castle and it
What's
not
going to
be
trip you out is realizing
Magic
how small it is.
Yes, realize yeah, that's
It-
true. That's true.
I did get emotional at times.
Seeing Phantasmic for me is gonna
Yeah,
because
Fantasmic always gets me emotional.
I'm gonna be expecting something and the show scene's not gonna be there. I'm gonna be because like Disneyland Phantasmic, the new version, I don't like as much
Mhm.
compared to the old version of their Phantasmic and
Yeah,
even Disney Worlds now. So it's gonna be like, oh, I'm expecting the Elsa scene or something,
right.
that sequence. And then it's gonna be the Aladdin sequence, and we like, wait a
I
minute.
love the Aladdin sequence, and I got to tell you, I knew about the pirate ship, but
Yeah,
the entrance that pirate ship makes
it
because you're
it's
completely distracted.
so cool.
And I didn't know when it was coming.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you hear the cannon, and then the lights come up. I was blown away.
Yeah.
But what's really neat about Disneyland is being in all these familiar places,
Mm-hmm.
but they're different.
But yeah. Yeah.
So good.
Exactly.
And you're going to California Adventure, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm there for 4 days. So
Okay.
2 days Disneyland, 2 days California Adventure.
Well, they're right. You can
It's yeah,
you can park
see
up
it.
all day.
You can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like walking across your front lawn. Like it's right there.
Are you gonna get Genie Plus?
No.
Okay. Well, make sure you rope drop Fantasyland.
And let's talk a little bit more about mental health, because we've been wanting to talk about this for a little bit now. So we can go around a little bit with this. I don't know if RJ, whatever you're comfortable with, and everyone, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you're comfortable with sharing. So the first, I kind of have like a question. So your mental health, whether it be good or bad at the time, how can that affect your content? Because it can be a pro and it can be a con, obviously. So Scott, you talked a little bit about how it affects your content. Expand on that a little bit, my friend.
So it's both helped and hurt. It's hurt because I just don't want to do much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely putting in the minimum. I'm not doing as much. Not that I did a whole lot of show prep before, but I'm not coming up with a lot of show prep because I'm not doing a whole lot. You know, a lot of our topics are centered around the dumb stuff that I do. I haven't done any dumb stuff because I'm not doing anything. Where it's helped is now really playing into some of these jokes about my midlife crisis, because I'm a lot older than anybody else in our group. So that's helped because we can kind of have fun with it, because I really think that that's what it is. And I'm not a psychologist, so I shouldn't be self-diagnosing. And it's made me a little bit more comfortable. I guess it's my coping mechanism, because like, you guys are laughing at me. What did I do?
No, I'm just
Okay. So
I don't know if YouTube can see this or not, the emoji or not.
Yeah, they see it. They see
it.
Good. Yeah, so like, I guess it's been my coping mechanism, because I'm not someone who has had mental health illnesses before, or gone through anything like this. It's usually very temporary, a one-day thing. And so the fact that it's kind of lasted, and it's not nearly as bad as it was a month or two ago when it first started.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely have good days and bad, but yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit of both. I wish that I could push myself a little bit more to just get back into my routine of stuff, because I think that would help a lot. But yeah, I don't know. It's both. It's opened up some jokes, because that's how I deal with any type of hardship in my life, is joke about it. But then it's minimized my effort.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, having that deadline, and like Disneyverse does the kind of the same thing, and I'm probably going to be moving away from it a little bit, is of like the every week history thing, and like trying to meet that deadline, trying to write like a 10 to 12 page script every single week is what stresses me out sometimes. And I'm going to try to move away from that. I'm going to try to put out like 2 videos a month now or so I give myself more time to expand on the topics that I'm doing. But yeah, that stresses me out a lot. And I mean, other contributing factors, I mean, my making content for me is an escape a lot, but sometimes it can lead to like, video not doing well or something that can lead to a lot of anxiety or stress or thoughts of like, why am I doing this? Scott, I know you battle with that, the
all
analytics stuff.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, all the time. But I shifted a lot of my focus when I shifted over to TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm not as focused on it, now I'm depressed. I'm depressed about analytics again. And it comes and goes. And honestly, now I'm more focused on just entertaining people. And like I don't buy into the analytics too much. I just put out a good show, and you know let the people listening speak for the analytics, or some quote that Remy said about analytics.
He doesn't care about viewership. He doesn't care about listeners. He just let him make the best show possible or something like that.
Yeah.
Let the likes and the comments or something determine whether he makes a good show. Something like that. I forget the exact quote. Um, something that like I guarantee you the Nerd Archive probably have the same thing is the I joked with Chris about this last time we met up at Shady, the first time I met him. And I said I forget how we started talking about it. And I said something about like I have a theme park YouTube channel. Like, do you think I'm popular in high school? Like I'm not a popular guy. Kind of an outcast around my town, you know. Uh in school. I've never talked about this, but in school I very much was.
Mhm.
Um I mean, when you have half of your room is Disney collectibles, you're not going to be that popular of a guy. Um and it was really funny
You know
taking
what though? Sorry to cut you off. Kudos to you for not really giving a shit though,
No, I never did. I never
because
did.
I did in high school. I
No, never
definitely
did.
did.
Never
My
did.
daughter and now like that I'm older, I'm like, how stupid was I? Like, why did like the stuff that I want to like, and who cares how popular I am?
Hmm.
You
The only
know?
thing the only thing I was concerned with a little bit, not much. Some of my friends were more concerned with this kind of stuff than I was, like being popular with the ladies kind of thing.
Hmm.
That always kind of scared me because I was like, how am I going to find somebody after school? Because I'm not in college, right? I'm not going to go to somewhere that has the same interests as me. You're not going to find me at like a club or anything, you know?
Hmm.
Remember, I'm a rock fan. Like, what club do you go to when you're a rock fan? You go to concerts. I'm not there to pick up chicks. I'm there to enjoy the concert. Like,
Right.
But I have the opposite mindset that everyone else does. I went to a Foo Fighter show last night. Like, I'm not gonna give me. They're playing "Learn to Fly" on the stage. I'm focused on that. Like, especially now. Um,
Jesus, you're an old soul, Foo Fighters.
um, but like, it was funny taking Tori to New Jersey because it was like this is the same guy that I made that joke to a couple years ago, and then now I'm with somebody who I've been with for a year, and I mean, everything with her and me are going very well. So it was very funny especially him and Chris and his wife also met in high school too. Same thing with me
Hmm.
and Tori. So it was funny that dynamic, and everything that Chris said in NNF, by the way, is true. Everything about it.
Okay.
Yeah. I started this channel when I was in ninth grade. People found out
Jesus.
about it in ninth grade. Um, that doesn't help with popularity, I guess, of people finding your Disney YouTube channel. Because at the time it was strictly Disney. It wasn't like theme parks.
Right.
Um, yeah, and it's so funny. Never affected the content though. I don't think most things have for me. The only thing that did was like when somebody in my family passed away or something like that. That's the only time that like I was really really depressed kind of and not finding motivation to create because it was such a devastating loss. But other than that, there's never really been a time. There was times in Beyond the Glass for sure. Making that, it was like, how am I going to do this? You know,
Hmm.
multiple times. There was multiple interviews I got done doing, and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to edit this, and I nearly canceled it. It was after one. I think it was after Steve's interview or something because I knew that was going to be the ending, what he said, knew that was going to be how I ended it. But I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make this. Like I nearly canceled it at that point, but thank God I didn't.
So glad you didn't.
Yeah, some points in that was certainly bad mentally, but he always power through at least.
Well, and
Um
I think it's interesting because how does mental health play into our content, but also how does our content create mental health
mm,
issues?
oh,
You know,
quite a bit. Quite a bit sometimes,
quite
you
a
know.
bit. And not just in the is I poured
Certainly
my heart.
stress
Yeah,
level for
but I
sure.
poured my heart into this. It's not getting the response that I thought it would. Um, I run into that a lot.
Hmm.
Um, I take a beating on a weekly basis. a beating. And I'm fine with it. That's the premise of the show.
Yeah.
But some of that's hard.
Oh yeah.
Some of that's hardest, but not so much in the episode, but when, you know, every comment on every post or whatever goes back to, and it's funny. I don't want anybody to ever stop doing it, but it does. There's a
line.
moment.
There's a line that can be crossed too.
Well, there is, but the line doesn't get crossed. But it's sometimes there is a brief moment, and if it's a very brief moment where I'm just like, I wish I could just have normal interactions, instead of the constant beatdown. It's a brief moment because the constant beatdown is kind of the bit, but it plays into it, and I say this with caution. I don't want anybody to stop doing that.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think it's kind of the nature of the beast. I don't know.
Well, you certainly have to have thick skin for the character that you're playing.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, you can't. Every content creator should, by the way, too. You can't listen to comments unless they're positive ones, and unless they're giving you
unless they're constructive
criticism. Like if you're making shit content, if you're making shit content and somebody says that this is bad, listen to them. But if they're just like trying to beat you down, that you can tell. So. I mean, be careful with it, but you certainly, people can go down dark roads with that. Yeah. I mean, the creator of Flappy Bird, right? Millions and millions of download on that app, huge app, but couldn't handle the pressure of I think it was like following up the app or following up the game, or that's something I have a lot of anxiety about, trying to follow up Beyond the Glass. Or trying to just hearing everyone kind of bully him a little bit. He deleted the app of the App Store. It made him thousands of dollars, probably. Huge app. Everyone has it on their phone, and he deletes it. It's quite a story.
At the end of the day, with the shows, you're not trying to make the podcast you want to listen to. You're trying to make the podcast your audience wants to listen to, and it's great if those align. But if they don't, and you truly want to create good content, you need to listen to your audience and what they want. On top of that, too, your audience isn't one person, it's a variety of people. And so it's important that if it's one person attacking you and everyone else enjoys the content, it's the majority that rules in terms of your audience.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you actually have listeners, and it's not like you, your mom, your wife, or girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, somebody in your family, don't 100% listen to what their criticism is, because I mean, I have to kind of watch my phrasing here, but somebody who not knows you, but is going to say everything that you do is great because they're a family member and they care about you a lot, is not really the person you want to get feedback from. You want the feedback. You want the feedback from the person who doesn't give a shit about you, or doesn't give a shit about your content, and they watch it, or knows actually what they're doing. If you have somebody watch a video that's in the film industry, something like that, take their advice way more seriously than your mom. Let's say, because of course your mom's going to say everything. She's been saying it since hopefully she's been saying it since kindergarten, that everything you do is great, So it's you really have to be careful with who your constructive audience is too. Because somebody might be saying it's great and it's not,
Yeah. Ryan brings up great points. And it's such a tough balance, because you'll get feedback on one person, and then I'm focused on, okay, how I don't want to offend this one person anymore. And then it changes everything. And then, so now to appease one person, have you alienated the majority,
well, alienation is certainly something we need to talk about soon, with the election coming up and stuff like that. Huge topic. Got to talk about that soon. Really want to have that discussion. Not a huge.
Are you referencing the border wall?
No, not a huge political discussion, or just how it can affect, how it can alienate your audience, because that's something
alienating your audience. Okay,
that's something on Twitter that I try to keep away from because, I want to tweet my opinions. Oh, I do sometimes, really want to, but I refrain from it.
Here's the funny thing. You guys didn't know me in 2020. In 2020, every other post on Facebook was something political. And once I got into doing the podcast, I was like, I'm not typing anything political anymore.
Yeah.
And I think out of all of the shows, like NNF has we're the only ones that can really dive into politics, but not a deep dive. I don't want to do a deep dive. We can't do a deep dive because a deep dive is not funny. But let's focus on the funny aspects.
You never pick a side. If Biden does something funny, you pick on Biden. If Trump does something funny, it's like SNL.
Right. Right. Yep.
Exactly
and that's what we've got to do to because it's with the country being so polarized and divided and unless you want to be a right-wing show or a left-wing show, you got to stay away from it unless you're balanced.
Yeah.
The issue now is that we're so focused on a divided country. I think we need to focus more, instead of a divided country, on a divided country bear jamboree.
Oh, yes, sir.
Right. Yes.
Which is why I'm going to be voting for Big Al as president.
Me too.
There's a lot of division about I don't like the new Country Bears.
I don't like it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's so much better. So much better.
See?
It might be the biggest improvement of any Disney attraction I've ever seen personally.
On this show, exactly it. I haven't seen it, so I have no opinion. 50% of who has seen it like it, or it's exactly what I'm seeing on social media.
Yeah,
I think I despised the original, and so maybe that's playing into.
I didn't like the original either. I just think this version is IP cramming, and it's not needed. I don't.
It's better than Tiki Room under new management.
This is true.
See, I like Tiki Room under new management.
Oh, okay.
I liked it as I liked it as a kid. I should say I did like it as a kid because it was characters. But now looking back, it's no.
I don't know. For me, it was like new music. When I hear
it wasn't new music. It was pre-recorded music. They didn't write any new songs for it.
No, I didn't.
Did Friend Like Me? Come on, man.
No, not.
What about the Oa song?
Oh, that's true. That's true. The Oa song was, but that's a chant. I don't count that.
Are you saying that chants aren't music?
And no, they are
canceled by our Polynesian.
No. It is music, but it's not going to be on it's not like.
You don't listen to sea shanties on your Spotify playlist?
No. Are you the kind of guy that has
sea shanties on my Spotify playlist?
Are you going to have sea shanties on your Spotify rap this year? Are you that type of guy?
I guess we'll find out.
I guess for me with Tiki Room is it sounds like a 1955 choir, and it just sounds old. Like I feel like
strange because it was made in 1964.
Whatever, 1960s, whatever, whatever. It sounds old. Like I feel like the seats should be covered in plastic wrap, and like I smell mothball. And I love Tiki Room, but it's just the most outdated attraction that I think they have.
This is just not true. They have one from 2002 that is more outdated than Enchanted Tiki Room.
What's that?
Mission Space?
Figment. Oh, and Mission Space.
See, I don't think Figment's outdated. I love Figment.
Last time I went on Figment, I saw the nails that were holding up the refrigerator to the ceiling. You can't. They fixed that now, thankfully. But man, my God,
carousel's pretty outdated too. They need to do something with the carousel.
I don't think
it does need to be updated.
I don't think it should be updated.
I think they should make it into a Mary Poppins ride and have the horses go off the carousel.
That would actually be really cool. I don't think they should update Carousel of Progress to modern times, because to me the show scene in modern times is when you walk out of the building.
I think that they should bring Carousel of Progress final scene back to the original.
Yeah, I think Carousel of Progress is a staple that can't go away. I think that
never.
if there's certain attractions that are untouchable. There's other attractions that we think are like, oh, they're untouchable. And
if they take away Carousel of Progress from Disney World, put it back in Disneyland. Like that should never not be in a Disney theme park.
Correct. It's a great attraction.
Yeah. Also, Walt personally worked on it too, so it's the only one in Disney World, so it has historical value. That's why I don't think they'll ever take away Muppet Vision. I mean, if they take away Muppet, if they take
I think
away,
that's a touchable.
If they take away Muppet Vision, then they're gonna put the film on Disney Plus. Like that film, maybe not the attraction per se, but that film is going to be available somewhere in the world for people to see because of its historical value.
I love Muppet Vision. I don't think it's an untouchable attraction.
That's how I feel about Peter Pan's Flight as well. I think a lot of people consider that untouchable, but I disagree. I think Peter Pan's Flight could go somewhere.
I agree with this.
I agree with you. I think Peter Pan is touchable.
Yeah.
No, I don't like the way you're saying this.
That's
here's the thing. You dig yourself into these phraseologies
there, my guy.
100% I do. 100. Did we lose?
You ever watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yes.
You are the Charles Boyle. With
100%. 100%.
Peter Pan is 12 to 13 years old, my guy.
See, I didn't dig into it.
Oh my God.
I had to do it.
All right, I have a question for this week.
Yeah, sure. Okay. What's your question?
Gonna switch it up from what you think it is, Dane, based on the time that we're at. Okay. So, as we know, Joe Biden just dropped out of the election. He quit that aspect of his life because, saying he's getting too old. Not for him, understandable. If you had to drop out of or quit one aspect of you as a creator, what would you quit or leave behind or drop out of, and why? It could be just an aspect of a show. It can be one tiny piece, whatever.
Drop out of. Because I would say that like if you were gonna say like if you could reverse time, like I get that question before. Like I get that question before. Like if you could go back in time, what is something you've changed about your content? And my answer is always don't stop Diz Journey. But I want to do a Diz Journey episode, by the way, in September. If I could drop out of some, I mean, I stopped doing reviews because I didn't like doing them anymore.
That's a good one.
But I already did that. Like, I'm not making reviews anymore, so. If I could drop out of. I don't know, man. This is a good question. I can't even think of anything. I mean,
a wild way for one of us to announce we're leaving Creators United.
What's that?
This would be a wild way for one of us to announce we're leaving Creators United.
Right?
As much as I did want to make that joke, I wouldn't drop out.
For me, it's one of two things. Either one, the TikTok thing. If I have to pick one, it's not doing the lives at the parks, although I enjoy that so much. Honestly, I would give up hosting and I'd let Chris do it. And that's actually an easier answer than it's an easier answer than I thought it'd be, because we've actually already, after they did that episode without me, and I was like, wow, that was really, really good. And I feel like I'm hitting a point where I'm getting a little bit stale. So we've talked about maybe switching it up a little bit here and there. Maybe not every other week or anything like that, but maybe Chris hosts a couple. So that's my answer. Ryan, what about you?
Mine is a little more generic. I would drop out of overcommitting because I tend to overcommit. Like for Disneyverse, I'll say, all right, I'm going to write the history for this week and I'm going to make a full game, which isn't terribly sustainable. For Remy's Roundtable, for my segment there, initially when I started that up, I said, oh yeah, we're going to do one of these segments every month, a trivia tour every month. Completely unsustainable for me and how busy I am. And so I think it wouldn't be a specific thing because those are all things I enjoy doing, but just generally being more cognizant about not overcommitting myself and stretching myself too then.
Good point.
I have a few things that came to mind. I'm gonna go back in time from both of my things. So I wish when I started the channel, I both like this and don't like it. I wish when I started the channel I wasn't so like I would drop the every series except video games and history and like lists and stuff like that. Because I like having that flexibility, but the reviews and stuff I used to do back, the special series, I mean, some of those videos that I made early and sometimes even now, like the drum covers, I like making them, but they go they push the boundary a little bit, and I would make I know going forward, I've already made up my mind that I am going to be dropping some series to make the channel a little bit more concise. And I mean, one of those being reviews. Another most likely Dane Interviews is not coming back, and that channel is going to become drum cover channel. And I mean, the thing with Dane Interviews is that if no one wants to do an interview, you don't have an interview show. You know what I mean? It's very hard to get guests. And that's the problem with that. And I want to make more videos on that channel. I don't want to leave it dormant. So probably dropping some series is what is my answer.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think this is a great way to end the episode.
I agree. We didn't get to national parks again. Ryan, what is your deal with national? Just real quick, what is your? I'm curious. What is your deal with national parks? Just really quickly. We don't have to go into a full explanation. I just want to get this off the list the to-do list.
It's a good question. I mean, the answer itself, it's a little bit of a convoluted one, and it actually involves some crazy stuff, like me almost passing out.
Okay.
And spending a lot of money and getting stuck in the mountains and
Oh, you mean my house?
in Western Pennsylvania.
Oh,
ending up in 5 hours away in the middle of Western Indiana. And so for the national parks, if you want to hear more, listen to the next episode of Creators United streaming on Spotify.
Okay, yeah, we do need to do a whole segment on this because I was like, I don't know what his deal is with the national parks, but yeah, we do need to do that. Yeah. By the way, Wolverine and Deadpool comes out tomorrow.
I'm going to see it at 3:15. I'm so excited.
Let's go.
3:15 in the afternoon.
I'm seeing it at 8:30. Are you seeing it, RJ?
I've got you beat, Dane. I'm at 7:15, right in the middle.
Oh, I'm going to be the last one.
No, Chris is the last one Thursday. Next
Thursday. He's skipping our Disneyverse episode for it.
I'm not even joking. Chris, it was funny when I was with Chris, we went to like a collectible store. This thing has like video games. It's where he gets his Pokemon cards, comic books, Funko Pop. It has everything. And we were there, and he's like, "Hey, you guys got tickets to Deadpool and Wolverine?" And we were like, "Not yet." And then that's when we made plans to go. and then when we were at his house, he got a notification that my interview was put into the folder, which was funny.
So stay tuned next week or next time. I should never say next week. Next time. I don't even want to say next month. Next time on Creators United.
Next episode.
We'll do a deep dive into Mags, Ryan, Sophisticated RJ, his obsession with national parks.
Yeah. Yes, we will.
And if Chris Yaba is ever on, he'll take a deep dive into Dane.
He already did. On a Sunday. I was there Saturday and Monday because I had to install and uninstall the swing that I set up in his guest room.
We should get a guest who's like super outdoorsy on the next episode.
Okay.
You know what? They play baseball outdoors. Do you think we can get Studio 21 the baseball park?
There you go.
You could. That would fit. It would fit. Scott, you going to AMC to see Deadpool Wolverine?
No, I go to
Oh.
Sinopolis.
Okay, I was gonna say, who's picking up the Wolverine popcorn bucket?
No, I go to Sinopolis. I
Not
love
for popcorn,
Sinopolis.
by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Just the
I figured
bucket,
that.
just the bucket.
I
Got the
want to try
Dune one
to
too. It's gonna
drive
be a good
by
time.
a Walmart that's a little bit on my way tomorrow because they've got the Wolverine and Deadpool frozen pizzas.
Nice.
Frozen pizza. Okay.
Aviation Gin just put out a special limited edition Wolverine label.
Oh, really?
So fun.
Yeah,
Who's
it's the
Wolverine? I don't know, I make stupid jokes at night.
It's the gin company that Ryan Reynolds owns.
Nice. That
Is
dude
Mint
owns
Mobile doing a deal
dude
too?
owns so many things. Dude, he has his own Mint Mobile. He owns his own gin company. Like this guy is gonna run the world. I would vote for him for president easily.
They all have their names. All these celebrities have their names associated with liquor bottles now.
This is true.
The Rock has Terramana.
Yeah, that's Rain the Walk Johnson.
I think Gene Simmons has like a weed dispensary now or something. I know he has alcohol.
Didn't he die?
Gene Simmons?
No, that was Richard Simmons.
No, yeah, that was the workout guy. No, Gene Simmons from
Gene
Kiss.
Hackman, yeah.
Gene Simmons from Kiss has blasted like people who do drugs and people who drink for all of his life, and then has put out a wine line or something. It's like, okay, stick to your morals, my guy.
So join us next time when we also discuss celebrities and their
we can make a dude.
That would be a
whole
good
list.
game. I can make a game.
We can do a whole list of that.
No, I'm not going to commit to making a game. Somebody can make a game.
Can we
about naming a?
We get a celebrity on
which
for
celebrity?
That
we have to figure out which celebrity owns it.
I like that. Let's
that a lot. Let's get a celebrity on for that too. Let's get somebody who owns a company like for no reason.
Like Callum Worthy.
Yeah. Does he own a company?
He will when we're done with him being on our show.
Okay. All right. Scott, what's coming up on the No New Friends podcast?
It's always a good time. We had a good episode tonight, where none of the stuff that I planned to talk about, we actually talked about, and it made for a pretty good episode.
We did. Talked about mental health.
No, on No New Friends.
Oh, I thought you meant here. I was like,
you literally just asked me about what's coming up on No New Friends. I said we had a pretty good episode tonight.
I forgot. I wasn't paying attention.
Anyway, check that out, No New Friends podcast on all streaming platforms.
I had to stand up in the middle of the segment and take my headphones off. I couldn't hear you. RJ, what's coming up? What's the his on Disneyverse?
Well, it's not the his anymore.
Yeah, you can't say
happy
his.
birthday to Jennifer Lopez. How old is Jennifer Lopez today?
Oh,
60.
59.
55. Dane's got that one.
Oh, I was close. I thought she was 55 when she did the Super Bowl.
Today is also Bindi Irwin's birthday.
I did see that, yeah.
Bindi Irwin.
Is that Steve Irwin's? I have no idea who that is.
Daughter, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Steve Irwin's daughter.
And she's probably like
24?
26.
Right on the money. 26. Dane got it there. Next episode of Into the Disneyverse that releases. What do we talk about? Inside Out. We turn a person inside out.
I thought you were going to say
pretty
Steve
crazy.
Irwin.
Oh. And so it's an episode called Inside Out. It's about a movie called Inside Out. It's kind of wild. And then after that, we're doing an episode on Expedition Everest. It is about an expedition not to Everest, so stay tuned for that as well. Yeah. It doesn't go. It goes to the Forbidden Mountain, not expedition. Doesn't go to Mount. Holy crap! Dane, Everest. What are you doing? What are you doing next?
I'm not doing anything.
Cool.
Going to Disneyland in September. That's all I'm
so excited for you. I can't wait to talk to you about it.
I'm gonna go see the Struts next Friday in Philadelphia. If anyone wants to say hi at the show, like that's all I'm doing. I'm hanging out. So, yeah. RJ, by the way, you've been on that website, insideout.com?
What?
Is it a porn site? I'm going right now.
We'll see you later, everybody.